Good evening, everybody. I know I'm still late by my usual standard. I mean, my usual standard has shifted now to to be like 8 o'clock rather than 7 o'clock starts. But I would still like to try and do 7 to 10 at some point in the future. I know I slacked off a little bit on it, but we are back to Tactical Breach Wizards. So just to try and help people get an idea in terms of where I'm thinking for games. The plan will be to do Tactical Breach Wizards and Uncle Chop's Rocket Shop as sort of my main games. This doesn't rule out other games, so being able to go back to something like maybe Two Point Campus or Jurassic Park World. There's a few other strategy games that I'd enjoy trying out, but in this case here, I have been waiting a long time to play Tactical Breach Wizards, and I'm really, really looking forward to jumping back into it. I do also like that they give me a few challenges to work with, so it gives me some, it gives me some meat to chew on. So let's hop into the main game. Ah. I mean, I don't want the refund. I think we're doing dreams? Yes. All right, which storm it is? Knock out all enemies 5 left, use the laptop to open the security door, finish by the end of turn 1. So it would seem to me, if I'm going to do this, if it's going to be turn 1, then I need mana. Alright, so that's gonna blow me up. Oops. Didn't quite mean to do it that way, but I think it's still going to... There we go. Okay. Knock out all enemies to left, seal all reinforcement doors, prevent 15 reinforcements in total, and defenestrate 1 hostile by the end of turn 3. Now this one's kind of interesting because, like, it's clear here that I can't knock anybody out of the window this turn. So, I probably could have done better as far as clearing out the doors, but let's keep going. All right. So for Zan, I think the first thing I need to do is clear some space. Now, my ideal... Actually, if we can do one of these... Nope, that doesn't work. So before I fire anything, if I seal the door... Now, the drawback here is I need to either clear these guys out, which is going to be very difficult, or... Huh, actually, now that I think of it. Okay, so if we move Jen up here, what I'm thinking is we can take advantage of the explosion here. Let's do one of these. Okay, no, we gotta... Gonna have to live with that, I think. Ah. That's still gonna take him out, though. So... Alas. Now we can try another chain bolt. I'm not quite sure how I feel about that, but... That's not quite how I wanted it to go. And to be honest, this seems like a pretty overwhelming force here. So I think if I do the Gale Grenade here, yeah, unfortunately that doesn't defenestrate. And I believe we are on turn 3, so I'm going to have to make this happen. Actually, you know what? Let's restart the level. I do have a plan here. Okay. So here we're just going to do a good old-fashioned static blast. And again, we're going to focus a lot on people who arrive through the door here. Okay. So, if I do a burst like this, now you know what, let's rewind that. Okay, so if what I'm really looking to do is sort of gale, well see, I gotta move my character though, so. It seems very difficult to get them to move where I need them to go. All right. No, this doesn't work. So there's a couple things that I need to consider for this. One, I need to... Okay. Definitely want to seal the door, so we can grab the intel. So the nice thing about the intel is that it grants additional movement. Yeah, it's one extra action, so that doesn't mean I get like unlimited movement. But it does still help me out with some of this work. So I'm going to try something a little unexpected here. So I'm going to move the... Oh, you know what? I got to rewind this. Okay. So what I'll do here is I'm going to do the counterintuitive move of taking the Gale Grenade to move this here. So I can static blast this guy back. Now the tricky part is figuring out where to move Jen. So the Enforcer creates a complication. The other thing is, I think, so just as a hypothetical, right? If I knock this thing down, yeah, it doesn't actually knock the guy out of position. So there's promise here, but I still need some elements to work in my favor. So I'm going to take as just a hypothesis here. I don't see this being practical. All right, yeah. So basically, I can't move that unit diagonally. Well, okay. Apparently, I can move them diagonally that way. That's weird, though. So, if I do one of these, it smacks them into the wall. Tricky. Um... I feel like I need to keep the Gale Grenade. So this is me just kind of figuring this out. Now what I'm curious about is the order in which... So it looks like the grenade actually explodes before... before Zan gets taken out. So if that's true, then I can move Jen over here, grab the intel. I have 2 mana to work with. Cool. Ah, see, they both take out Zan then. So, generally the right idea for some things, but insufficient. Okay. Still gonna position accordingly. Actually, there's one other thing I want to do. So let's get Zan to move up. Largely the same principle here. No, hang on. Fire the bolt first. That's foolish because then that prevents the damage. Okay, and there's no cover for Jen here. Mind you, this probably won't matter based off of the... Okay, so if we seal the door and we grab the intel... Can I time boost myself? Probably not. Okay, so let's do the chain bolt again. So one of the options for Jen is just to move up like this, grab the intel, and then take cover. Right, but then the shot goes to Zan. So if that's true, then we time boost Jen, who then static blasts into the door. And then presumably from there, Zan survives because the grenade takes out the enemy. So I believe this is the turn the magic has to happen with the window. Okay, so that's already a non-starter. In this case, I'm just sort of just pushing stuff around on the board and hoping for the best. Okay. So the problem here is everybody, like, we've got nothing to protect us here. And there's no way I'm gonna have a single... Like, basically the whole team dies on this. So, I'm curious about one thing. I don't think this... Oh, cool. So the funny thing here is if I'm willing to... Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to accept damage if I want to do this, but so then I could predictive bolt here. This is giving up Jen's hope of So my question is, if we take cover here... Alright, well that buys us a turn, but we lose Zan. Yeah, I think I've got myself into a corner here. So we can predictive bolt this, we can chain. Now my guess is if I... Interesting. No, that kills Zan. All right. So basically, I can't stand in any of the grenades. I'm slightly curious on one thing. If I just Gale Grenade in here, Yeah, that doesn't change the grenades themselves, so no real advantage to doing that. So I'm gonna grab the intel here. Okay, that doesn't accomplish what I want, so definitely 3-bolt bursting that. That opens up possibilities for me, so I don't want to deny myself that. The dilemma I have is whether or not I want to block off one of these entrances, but in this case, we'll predictive bolt. That's not quite how I wanted to do the chain shot. So one of these. Forgot there was a window over here. And if I want, I do have the option of a time boost. I think the catch is that I don't have any mana for Gen. But you know what? Let's make this happen. God, I've got a lot of reinforcements I need to block. Oh boy. So I'm taking a big risk on this one. Okay, let's see the order. So if I can get rid of this, yeah, so we'll hit this guy. I think now is the time for me to grab the intel. Revive Snow! My Phantom Brigade would be unimpressed by these tactics. Needs more, Ooh, alright. So I was originally going to try and mess with, okay. I need to change this up. I need to do something to deal with Tracker Hightower. Strong name. Okay, that still takes out Zan. Alright, I think I can make something happen with the predictive bolt, though. Not that way I can't. All right. I still think this, yeah. So I've got some of the pieces that I need, but okay, so this is a non-starter here. This might work. But the question now is, how do I deal with this unit? Well, one is to potentially time boost Jen. This I don't think... Yeah, this doesn't accomplish what I want. So let's just throw the Hail Mary on this one. So if I static blast... Yeah, I'm blocked by this, so it doesn't really get me what I need. And it's funny too, because I feel like we are so close with the chain bolt. Oop, sorry. So if I try the static blast, it doesn't seem like it does much on its own. But it does change the positioning. And that could potentially be the difference. But he doesn't have a time boost now? That's weird. Oh, it's probably because of the prediction. All right, but I think, yeah. All right, so I need to block. I think it's very unlikely I'm going to get my remaining blocks, but let's see how it goes. Alright, so this pretty much shuts off any possibility of blocking these doors. I'm curious if Jen closing one of these... Interesting. Okay, so that's a team effort. Okay, this is good to know. Yeah, so if I don't take out the enforcer... Well, no, that one has an easy fix. He says, when it is anything but easy. Yeah, there's no easy fix on that one, so, alright. Let's undo the turn. Okay. So it seems to me like one of the first things I need to do is just work out where all the baddies are going to be. So this isn't a disaster because we can chuck the... We could do the 3-bolt burst, and then the question is, do I have something that Jen can do? Now the drawback here, I imagine... No, we're good. So if I do one of these, and then Zan fires one of these, I suppose I get the option of... I mean, it doesn't hurt, right? I'll do the time boost just for the sake of the argument. I think at this point I'm just gonna try and clear the level. Again, I don't believe... With these numbers, I don't see any way that I can get to 15. Ah! That's a problem. So it seems to me like we want to preserve the time boost then. So many grenades. Alright, so chain seems to be like a great way to clear some of the riff-raff out here. Okay, insufficient. Silly. So I think at this, if there really are no more reinforcements, then it seems to me like this is just a cleanup job. Yeah, so seal all reinforcement doors. We only got 11 of those done, so I'll learn to live with it. I'm debating on whether or not I want to put Jen in position here. I think as an alternative, I'll static blast them into the grenade shot, and then we can use the predictive bolt to take out the enforcer. And then in that case, it's just cleaning up the grenadiers. I'm sure there's a way for me to do both achievements in the same run, but in this case, we'll just do this again to get Zan his confidence. Okay, so I think we can reliably do the old... Okay. Definitely need to learn the... I'm not getting any prizes for this one. I think it's... Okay, so what I can do here, we can 3-bolt burst, and I can predictive bolt, and then Jen can do the coup de grace. So, I'm not getting any awards for how I handled that, but We can give this another shot. Whack a door. This time, we're going to focus on... we can do the default breaches. So this one's going to be entirely about closing as many of these doors as possible. And actually, we're going to change it up a little bit. So we still want Jen to breach. Well, So the question here is, how do I fix the Jen situation? All right, let's see how this goes. Okay, this isn't a terrible place to be. So if we get Jen to seal the door here, and then we get Zan to seal here, we've got two characters that we need to clear out. But Jen gets to grab the intel here. So if we get Zan to knock this guy out, we get Jen to static blast this guy. So the thing that's great on this, with this approach, is I don't give up any of my consumables. So I'm gonna set up a predictive bolt, because I think that should get me another mana. Okay, now I've got all my work cut out for me in terms of clearing out those doors. We've finished 14, so we don't, it's not that hard, but we do need to make sure that we need to be thoughtful in terms of how we clear out the rest of this. Like, so I need to make progress towards a door, and then the rest of the question is just going to be how we get there. Okay. This isn't the best, but... Okay, so if I do a static blast like so, nice. Okay, that... So I'm curious if I let Zan take cover. Okay, good to know. The question I have, if I could do a predictive bolt with him, that's best. So the question will be, if I grab the intel and I chuck a time boost, I can't static blast anybody who matters. But I can chain bolt. All right, well, choices have consequences. This seems absolutely insane, right? Like there's no way that this is going to work out. But So this is the positioning I want to work with. Now I'm actually curious on one... no, I can't knock that. Okay. See, the problem here is I could do one of these and one of these. So that's like a start. But it doesn't clear me out of this. Yeah, that diagonal's a real killer there. But... okay, promising start. So we need to find a way to clear out RPD Tracker Javensky. Or we just accept that we lose Jen. I don't think I'm ready to do that. I really feel like there's possibilities here, but let's think about what I can do here. So the main, there's like a few targets that I have on this chain bolt. I will mention too, so for the 3 bolt burst, like, so one thing I could technically do is like shoot this thing. Okay, nope, that doesn't knock me back, so. I mean, I could static blast the Enforcer, right? But unless I have a way of doing a time boost, that's not gonna help. Although I am curious. Yeah, that's as far as I can move. Thing is, I don't see any advantage to delaying the assignment, so let's make this horrible business work on its own. So I have multiple options, so I can either go here or here. I don't know if it makes that huge of a difference, but let's just see what happens when I go behind. So if I do the chain bolt here, okay, so that does clear out the... you know what? There's a possibility here. Yes! Beautiful. So the thing that's great about this as well is the rest of the turn can now be playing defensively because we've got the 2 objectives. Yeah, so under normal circumstances, right, I would want to try and seal that door, but that's a great way for me to perish. So at this point, what I want to do, I don't want to be completely passive. Like if I get a chance to do something like a static shot to take out more than one character, I'll take it. But the thing that's nice here, okay, one thing I am worried about, does this, yes, okay, so that causes Jen to be a target now. But we can actually fix this pretty simply. So if I smack this guy down, and then we do a predictive bolt, that lets me take the guy who comes into the room like so. Right, so I've got grenades to dodge, but we've got two people with pistols. And the beauty on this one is that I can move up like so with the Zan. Right? We take him out at the wall here, and as long as Jen can do the same to this tracker, which, again, just run up and hit him with the static blast. We're good to go, right? Okay, and we get the chance to seal the door. Also grab intel. So now we just have 2 baddies to take out by whatever means we feel appropriate. This one's probably easier all told. I mean, actually, if I chain bolt it... Yeah, then we don't even need to think. Cool. I am good at video games. That was fun. I really like that they give you the opportunities to, I think I talked about this before. By the way, for those of you who do not know, Revived Snow is a lovely fellow Canadian broadcaster. Voiceless, camless, but not talentless. And actually, one of the things I'll say that I really appreciate about Snow's streams, and I mean, I don't know. So number one, it's actually an environment. I am always surprised at how welcoming of an environment it is in a stream. Sorry, I'm just going to take a minute to adjust my blanket because we're doing cozy Tactical Breach Wizards. You know, text-to-speech is the sort of thing that we associate with robots, right? It's the machine talking to you. And I think one of the things I really appreciate about Revive Snow's channel is I find it a very warm and welcoming environment, right? So it's easy to say, you know, like, Revive Snow's nice, they have a larger view count than me. Yeah, you're actually a Roomba. You know, like a higher view count than me. There's actually really no benefit to Snow shouting me out. They do, and I really appreciate it. So, you know, there's always a way of sort of saying there's like a hidden motive for a shout out or something like that. But the thing that I actually find is that no matter what, like if it's been a while since I've been in, if they're, you know, if I'm being a troll and putting, you know, Revolution 9 in the audio queue, no matter what, I always feel very welcome in Snow's channel. And, you know, there's nice, like, the banter's fun, the ability to sort of, you know, interact, and of course this part of the formula for that is a community as well. But I think one of the things that I've really appreciated about Snow's broadcasts are the level, how welcome I feel when there aren't all of the normal mechanisms for sort of human interaction. So a lot of broadcasters will have a camera, and that way you use the nonverbal communication. And of course, as is commonly cited, it's like, what, 70 or 80% of all communication is nonverbal. I certainly believe that. I think there are some people who have a pretty significant capability in terms of conveying ideas with their voice, right? You know, for a very long time, a lot of our entertainment was purely voice-based. I'm thinking of, you know, radio. So I certainly can believe that there is a way that you can craft your skill and your delivery around a purely voice-based broadcast. But it's, you know, I would say, with no disrespect to people who do, you know, streams with cameras, there's certainly I'd say that's the majority of broadcasters. You know, I would argue that that is one of the easier ones in the sense that it's maybe more in line with how you would normally interact. Hello, Pugporg, 11th of their name. Very happy to see you. For some reason, I thought you had been in the stream before, but it is saying first-time chatter. So, and it's actually very funny because I'm so used to seeing first-time chat notifications, which are just bots advertising views. I almost banned someone who's clearly a very dedicated fan of the broadcast. So, thanks for that, Twitch. Anyway, sorry, I'm going on at length, but with the Revive stuff, I mean, it's certainly a very it's very pleasant to be able to speak to the. Yeah, no, I totally understand, Pugborg, and I appreciate it. I'm actually also there's a viewer I really I mean, I like all my viewers, right? But Olaf T. Harry, I got a chance to sort of get to know them in another broadcast, and I sort of understand, sometimes, life throws stuff at us. We don't always get to pick the battles, and the world can change, people can move, people can, there can be lots of different things that will change the circumstances, and I'm fully aware of this, particularly with my start times, that there are lots of things that have changed on these streams that may mean that people don't get what they used to out of them. But Olaf is somebody I really enjoy interacting with, and I know in particular the start times that I work with are not always conducive to their being able to catch live broadcasts. So it's one of those things I'm really conscious about in terms of the broadcast. It's something that I wish I was a little bit better and more consistent on, but I do also have the demands of my day job. And it is one of the reasons why I continue to maintain the VODs that I do, to try and make sure that whatever approximation of the broadcast, people get a chance to see them. In fact, I hope it's weird to address that. I do hope that Olaf gets to see Tactical Breach Wizards, because I think XCOM is something that I think they like, and so I'm hoping that Tactical Breach Wizards gives a little bit of that XCOM feeling. Anyways, I do want to just put a nice little cap on the Revive Snow thing. I think, again, it's one of these cases where you can. I don't know. I don't want to suggest broadcasting is easy for anybody. I think if you have a video camera, then it is more natural for you to take some of the qualities of your individual personality or the way that you talk with other people and bring them to a broadcast. Doesn't mean that you don't have to learn about sort of your presence and your delivery and all of these other factors. But I think the mapping, I think, is a little bit more direct. And then, of course, I prefer the voice only. This is just largely because, I've never enhanced a product by having my appearance on it, let's say. And, people have been very kind about the vocal qualities. So if there's an opportunity for me to enhance those, right? I don't want to, by the way, I always joke on the I've never enhanced a product. I look thoroughly average. Like, I'm pretty sure if you just pick a video game option that says average, there's like a picture of me there. Maybe not video game, because like they're all like, I don't know, mid-40s soldiers. It's kind of like the generic video game characters. So maybe I'm not in the appropriate demographic there, but yeah, like the people have been pretty clear in terms of what they like about the stream, and so I wanted to but I wanted to do something that was more in line with promoting those. But again, I do very often think, when it comes to Revive Snow and their broadcast, the fact that I enjoy hanging out, and the fact that, like I said, when I come into that channel, I feel very welcome. And I just think to myself, I say, this channel removes, there's no camera. I mean, there's a VTuber avatar, but I don't really feel like that's the same. There isn't the intonation or the enunciation that, I come to rely on. All of this is conveyed through the show that's being put on, the things that I hear, and it's one of these things, it's like when I watch El Canu, and he broadcasts primarily in French. I don't understand French that well, but he does have a really good presence, and it's one of these things that helps me learn a little bit more about how these broadcasts work, and how you can be entertaining without necessarily having qualities that you come to rely on. So anyways, there's a number of very good reasons why I recommend watching Revive Snow. More variety of games, more, a nice place to hang out. And I always like being able to shout out my fellow Canadian broadcasters. So, anyway, we have finished the dreams. If we want, we can unlock outfits. So we've got the Desert Detachment, Jungle Tracker, WizTac, Private Eye, East Point Knights, and the White Witch. I feel most inclined towards the Private Eye. And then we've got Dark Arts, Hedge Wizard, WizTac, Urban Arcanist, Full Leather Jacket, and Blackout. I do like the tactical ones. WizTac I can see. Got Desert Camo, Hedge Wizard. I like WizTac. You know what? We're gonna unlock WizTac. I am in Eastern Time. So I used to live in Vancouver, so that was Pacific, but I've moved 3 hours into the future into Eastern Time. Right, okay, now we can move on. Reactor Black Site, back in the real world. Banks is definitely close. My scry is popping off. You okay? You're sweating. Just out of practice. Okay. What are we looking at in there? Automated turrets. They're tough, but if you can get close, you can just shut them down. It seems like a security oversight. Not a documented feature. Just hold the status button and tap reset 3 times. God bless military engineering. Oh, interesting. I didn't realize you were in Canada. Sorry, for some reason, I think you had even mentioned that before. I didn't clock. God bless military engineering. All right, disable any turrets, seal off reinforcement doors. So Zan, prevent 2 reinforcements in total. So there's 9 coming out of there. So in principle, this is something we should be able to handle. In practice, I imagine we will struggle with it. And then finish by the end of turn 3. I definitely feel this is achievable, but I need to be thoughtful in terms of how I do it. Bah! All right, this is going to take a bit of getting used to. That's not going to do the trick. Okay, so... The ideal, of course, is that we keep making progress towards the door. I mean, maybe what we do here... Okay, I'm still dead if I do that, so... Now I can time boost if I really want the... if I want the extra action, but I don't see how that helps me. So we'll take cover here, and then we'll get Jen to take cover. Okay, so there's a few things that I want to do here. So if we turn off the turret, seal the door, I got an idea. Okay, so smack him into the wall. So I can static blast this guy. Then, so I actually have a couple of options here, but if so I'm thinking we time boost. Then I can static blast this guy. Oh, it says it's turn 3. Damn it. Man, how am I supposed to... How am I supposed to make it to that turret on time? Yeah, so we didn't get the... We didn't complete the task. That's fine. We'll take a second round on it. Oh, sorry. I wasn't aware that you weren't familiar with this. Yeah, Tactical Breach Wizards is a heck of a game. Oh, all right. We'll have to, I'll just, we'll go through it. So this is by the same developer who made Gunpoint and Heat Signature, both wonderful games, Tom Francis. I think a very fun, oh, I did not realize it says no step. I really like the writing, but, yeah, this is good fun. Oh, really? I loved Gunpoint. I've actually played Gunpoint more than Heat Signature, but Heat Signature is wonderful, so. I see a control terminal for this turret. If we can reach that, we can do better than turn it off. We can mess with target recognition. If you get to it, try L. Kennedy and Philidor 77. I'm curious about this Philidor reference. Well, you know, you think Liv programmed every turret? No, but she always insisted on having admin-level access to friendly security systems ever since Medil in 81. I'd ask, but we don't have that kind of time. Why do you know Liv's passwords? I respected the hell out of her, but it was very clear she could kill me, and one day might. It seemed prudent. How do you know Liv's passwords? It's not hard to spy on Detective when you only have to foresee doing it. Wow. That's unsettling information. Alright, let's hack a turret. It's not going to be easy to reach. Let me try something. I have an old trick I haven't tried in a while. Alright, read the description of False Prophet and use it to make a turret waste its shot. Send out a false premonition of yourself, which expires at the end of the foresee phase. Okay, so the tricky part on the... Oh, I think I get it now. Okay, so grab the intel, False Prophet, which presumably we just throw out here. Inconvenient. All right, I think we can do the finish by turn 2 thing. Okay. I think if we take Jen, we static blast you out the window. We static blast you out the window. Seal the door. Actually, if you Tom Francis does broadcast sort of dev diaries. So they apparently canceled one of their recent projects, but it was in order to pursue a more promising one. So if you had, I will actually also mention that he does have a Unity tutorial. So I know there's a few aspiring game developers in the in the chat, and I think some of you may really enjoy that. Zen, you're pale, man. You sure you're okay? I do feel rough, to be honest. Churning out suicidal time clothes of yourself never feels great, but this is different. Did something bite you? Mark on your neck? Does it look like the one on your arm? Huh? Should we abort? Not an option. Our ride already left. Well, Banks is a doctor. Breaking her out of this dive should earn us a checkup, right? Oh, good point. You want to hang back? I can probably figure something out by myself here. Nah, I'm a good fight. Thanks, though. Okay, good, because I was absolutely bluffing. Could be a fucking tank in there for all I know. Think human shape, but you're not far off. Right. So cause a predictive bolt to fire before the 4C phase, and finish by the end of turn 3. So, I mean, the obvious answer is... I don't know about this. Ooh! I can't move that guy at all. Alright. That changes things. Actually, I'm wondering if maybe we switch the roles here. So if we take Jen to breach here. So I'm wondering if we do something like this. Damn. That doesn't help at all. I mean, I can try this just for the sake of the argument, but... I mean, there's a possibility here. Oh, yeah, there's a particular possibility. So we just smack him into the... Yeah. Okay, I mean, this gives me something to work with. This does nothing. That was not what I was expecting. All right, so we got something we can work with here. Now, I think... Oh, no. Yeah, that doesn't do anything at all. Interesting, so I can't time boost Jen here. Which makes me feel like I should do the false prophet, but then that invites the question as to how I get past the sniper. So I can take cover. Okay, so a couple things I need to change up. Let's switch it around. There is actually a strategy behind this. Cool. I think I can foresee, and yeah, it takes him out first, so. Catch is, we have to wrap this up in one more turn. Which I think is achievable. Oh, crap. I gotta close the door, though. Yeah, we can't do that this... Ah, damn it. All right, well, you know, okay, hang on. Let's see if I can... Yeah, no, there's no way that Jen gets where she needs to go to seal the door, unfortunately. Not what I wanted to do. Huh. Oh, right. It automatically counts as activating. That is one of the graphic settings, Underwater Monk. Hey, when you started to feel sick, was it like a swarm of red-hot locusts were nesting in your pancreas? I would have said hornets, but yeah. Okay, I think we've both been poisoned. Just hasn't hit me full on yet. Jen, I'm so sorry. I can barely walk. I might be done. No, you're gonna be fine. Just hang back and rest up. Bank cell is right there. I'm just going to clear the room, bust her out, she'll fix you up in no time. Simple. His movement is restricted and he'll lose 1 health at the end of every turn. Okay, just to show you some options here. We've got actual peach blizzards, practical peach blizzards, practical beach lizards, tactical beach lizards, tactical beach wizards, and tactical breach wizards. Alright, cause predictive bolt to fire before the 4C phase and finish by the end of turn 4. So, frankly, I don't think there are any mysteries as far as the... Oh, interesting. Okay, so Jen can't... Huh. Yeah. I feel like that's a waste, so let's just do a good old-fashioned static blast. Not quite how I was planning on it going, but... Okay, so take cover. The key to this, obviously, is going to be... I'll do my best. Okay, so... This is gonna get awkward. Not quite what I had in mind. There's not a lot of space for the bolt, though. Saturating fire. Heavy gunners lay down so much fire that you'll take 1 damage, even in cover. Still a lot better than getting the full hit, though. Alright. Looks like Zan gets taken out regardless. Okay. So problem here is that, like, I want to do the predictive... Okay, well, actually, sorry, there's one... Regardless, I gotta get over here. So if Jen takes cover, yeah, everybody still piles on. Tricky. Now, unfortunately, Zan doesn't have mana to... Like, it's all well and good for this to, for an aspirational turn like this. But okay, let's see what I can do. Damn. Yeah, it's still going after Zan, so... yeah, that's not working. Yes, there is definitely... I don't know if Into the Breach was an inspiration. I think this was developed before Into the Breach, but... it's very hard to see a game like that and not have it be like some kind of inspiration. Okay, so there's not a whole lot of time for Zan to do his thing. One option I do... okay, actually, you know what? I don't need to make this that difficult, so... mission accomplished. Unfortunately, my static shot doesn't count for much. Now, I could false prophet this, but I don't really see there being... I don't see a huge advantage to it. So, let's take cover. One other option I have is... okay, that's... I need to work out exactly how the pushes work. This is an opportunity because of where the big guy is going to be. All right, so, you know, them's the breaks. Now I need to make sure that Reactor Sniper Fair Play doesn't make me sad. So I'm thinking... yeah, that doesn't do what I want it to. So one of these has got to be so I can take out the sniper. Now I'm actually wondering... Wunderbar. So like the shield does too much, yeah. So predictive bolt doesn't help me there. But may help me here. Right, okay. So check a time boosted gen. Cool. So I kind of got to wrap this up. Got like one turn. I don't know if I'm going to move fast enough to be able to clear out these reinforcements. Damn. What if I did that in the other direction? Close. That didn't do anything. All right. We don't need to get too clever with this, so oh, right. So Jen definitely has to hack the turret. Okay. So we're going to ignore this guy because the turret will take them out. What I can do here, though, I'm wondering if... Okay, one unused action. Thing is, I don't think Jen's gonna be in position fast enough to be able to kill the reinforcements. Yeah. Alas. Okay, so I definitely will go back and fix a few of those approaches. Please, I know you hate me. I know you won't save me. But please don't let Zan die. He's never crossed you. He's just trying to stop something terrible. Please don't... Noakes Bar that night. Sorry, just need a minute to readjust the microphone. I used to be a surgeon at Rushwater General. I was good until I started to shake. I knew the symptoms. Strybeck syndrome. Degenerative. Incurable. Terminal. But I couldn't lose that job. I couldn't just wait to die. So I hid it. And it worked for a while. I was good enough to compensate. When the kid came in, I honestly thought I was his best shot. I was wrong. I knew it was a bad cut before I saw the blood, and I knew it couldn't be stopped. The bottom dropped out of my stomach. It was over in seconds. My brain was on fire. Every atom in me was screaming for an undo button on my life. Then a pop, a rip, a snap, and it was undone. The cut? Not just the cut, the Whole sternotomy. Leg look. It means his chest wasn't open anymore. My clamps were sheared off. He sat up. Never heard a room full of attendants scream before. Best we could tell, his body had gone back an hour. The anesthetic wasn't in his system, but the prep drug was. So, turns out I can rewind people. It was another month before I figured out they had to be dead first. So, if they're only unconscious, I have to shoot them first. You understand? If I'd waited for you to die, sending your body back an hour might not have been enough. The toxin could already be in there. Next time I want a regular doctor. I thought she was a regular doctor. There's a skull on her belt. A red flag, sure, but not a slam dunk for necromancer. I'm not a necromancer. You did just raise us both from the dead. That was today. Necromancers raise zombies. Do you feel like a zombie? I do feel incredibly bad, yes. Then I prescribe a brandy. 3? I do love how this keeps zooming out. What did you get back? She was a surgeon. Cute story, but try a shorter version for your next set of zombies. Infiltrate reactors, black site complete. Extract dozen bags complete. Get an entire team fatally poisoned and shot in the head. Not in the plan, but yes, complete. By the way, Revive Snow, I'm trying to remember, do you know that I really like frogs? Or are you just conveniently putting lots of frogs in the channel? Either way, I approve. All right. Okay, good. So extra knockback at point blank, but I'm never going to do that. Refreshing jolt once per turn. Refresh your move after. Yes. Oh God, we need that. All right. Hurtful Lie. Prophet fires Seer's main attack at a nearby target before expiring. That seems pretty good. Persistent Delusion. If your prophet dies before it disappears, your mana is refunded. Useful Fiction. Prophet interacts with anything it can before expiring. Boosts all targets in a 1-tile radius of impact except for Zan. Interesting. +1 damage feels good. Once per turn, when a teammate uses their standard attack, take a free shot at that target. Ooh. That does feel helpful. I think I'm going to do the extra damage here. Okay, so before we go further, let's clear out a couple of the... Apparently Jen was the laggard. I really do need to think about some better builds for these, but... Okay, so... Finish by the end of turn 3. So we need to, like, we're just gonna run like hell on this one. I mean, I do... Yeah, let's, Whoops! Let's not do it that way. Man, this is really, Okay, now I'm curious if I tried False Prophet here. Looks like everybody's still piling on, so... You know the funny thing here? If I can just Gale Grenade myself to hack the turret. Yeah, apparently they're not fooled by that one. There we go. So I gotta finish this at the end of turn 3. This is the hard part, right? Like, it's all well and good for me to plan it out. Oh, hang on. Maybe. Success! It's not clean, but... Okay, so, and then I believe this next one it's similar, we need to just get this done quickly. And of course, Zan is constrained in his movement, so... So that's still not enough to take out the... Cool. Not quite how I planned it, but... So this is definitely one where we take cover. I don't see how I do anything but take cover here. Okay. So... Static Blast. Right, I don't have a time boost here. Okay, well... That's a start. Okay, well, I mean, that's all well and good, but if both people take cover, then we lose both. Okay, so the problem here was I had the option of a predictive bolt, which I didn't ultimately take. Not helpful. So I definitely need to move. Yeah, I still lose Zan. You know what? We're going to reset this turn, this level. Okay, so it doesn't matter who breaches or where. Now, again, we need to make sure that we don't. So there's a few things that I need to do here. So one of the things that will help me. So like basically Jen's got to be the one to. Also, I need to remember the special ability these guys have. Right. And then refreshing jolt. Right. Okay. There's a big difference in how I want to do this. So if I do one of these, so I get another move. I'm really debating about so I think if I do the blast here, yeah, it just blows up, so that's not helpful. I think the best I can do is just the bolt in this case, which kills me, so never mind. Okay, we can work with this. Didn't do anything. So the real drawback here is we lose the... Yeah, okay. No surprises there. Wow! Okay, awesome. Damn. You know, I think there's another way I can handle this. Hang on. No. Okay. I still think there's an alternative here. So if I chain bolt, actually, so let's do something like this. You're kidding me. Like, I kind of see it, but I'm still mad about it. I'm going to take a chance that I can still make this work. Okay, so from here, we should be able to time boost Jen, who will then use the static burst to smack them down. Can grab the intel. Yeah, let's not waste that. No, damn it! It's better than nothing, right? Okay. This will get dicey. What did I think I was doing here? So from there, I mean, at this point, this is kind of just a formality, but all right, so yeah, we've got our confidence. Oh, another drone. How do you guys feel about another dream sequence? Okay, position info, moving to this tile will result in taking damage. Fun. All right, so let a single teammate perform 3 actions in 1 turn. Well, I have ideas about how that happens. The tricky part about this one, like, so I kind of need to all right, and finish by the end of turn 2. So basically, I kind of need to make all of this... I need to unwind the position here. And the tricky part is that... The weird thing is, I don't think... So the way I need to handle this one is basically I need to clear it out. So if I do one of these, right, I'm still in the line of fire, so that takes me out. So it seems to me, as far as I can tell from this initial position, my only option is to my only option is to Gale Grenade the immediate threat. Well, sorry, that's not entirely true. Like, obviously I can do one of these. But that option's always available to me. So, and then of course the question is, well, okay, well, the only Gale movement I actually get is something like this. Now, this feels slightly promising. So I do at least get another move out of it. The problem here is I don't see a situation where... See, the problem here is, like, I can do the predictive bolt, but I, yeah, man, this is a tricky one. Like, I'm starting to get the ideas in terms of how I move to make this work. The only option I have is to move this one. So, okay, fair enough. What does that get me? So what I need to be thinking about right now is how do I get a predictive shot right, so I can grab the, well, yeah. So my only options for moving for predictive shot are, okay, actually technically I can move Jen up here. But I think we come back to that same problem where if I can't get a predictive shot on, well, huh. Okay, so what if we think about this in a different... Well, no, because we're back to the same... I didn't realize they can shoot their own guys. That changes everything. I still need to be able to static blast someone into... Zan's loving arms, though. This is where this gets a little difficult, right? Because I can't push someone forward like this. I mean, I suppose the alternative is I just don't worry about it this turn, which feels like a shame. Okay, so if we grab the intel like this... See, the thing that sucks is I'm actually not able to deliver the goods here. So we just go for something simple. It's very convenient that enemies choose to stand in front of large electrical wall panels, just like the ones that we put in our houses. Okay, I have some ideas. I'm not convinced that this turn's gonna completely solve my problems. Right. I definitely need a few things to go my way here. Useless. This started off so promising, and then I feel like I threw it all away. To be able to do... Yeah, it's turn 2, so I'm not going to get either of these missions. You know what? No, damn it. Sorry. I do want to do this at some point, but I'm not actually feeling particularly sharp. So let's do... I'm just looking at the time. Let's do another story thing, and then maybe... Story thing. Nice. Let's do another section of story, and then if I'm feeling up to it, we can come back to the dream training. Part of this is just me, like, I do think these are designed to be something that I can do on my own, like, with a baseline and for my characters, but I'm not convinced I'm thinking about this properly. So I'm gonna reserve the right to come back to this, especially if my troops are stronger. Which is a shame, because I would like to unlock more outfits, but... That's a very good hat. You're a very good hat. Okay, we've exhausted the marketplace of ideas. I'm going to bed. Wait, I got something for you. Your dog tags? They're my vessel. Keep them with you and you'll get some of my brain, future, eyes. Your foresight? Won't be as clear as what I see, but it should be enough to save your ass now and then. Zan, I don't know what to say. No one's ever given me their vessel before. Well, you just saved my life for the second time in 2 days. I was barely conscious in there, and somehow you carried it. Kind of fuzzy on it myself. But also, you trusted me on this thing from the jump. No one's had that kind of faith in me in a long time. Becoming a wanted criminal did help clinch the decision. It's nice to have a geopolitical crisis as an excuse to reconnect, or, of course, man, you never let me down. It's nice to have a geopolitical crisis as an excuse to reconnect. I believe this is the first introduction of the vessel, but as far as I can tell, it's some kind of, focus, I think would be another term that comes up. But I think basically it's a way that something imbued with the magic of the caster, I'm assuming. It is, right? All right, that's my sincerity limit for tonight. Back to mocking your tactics tomorrow. And back to mocking your age if you last that long. Oof. Noakes Bar, late morning. All right, what's next? I've got to meet my contact in Gilpa? pay him for the ride and see if he's got anything new. Want company? Nah, it'll only spook him. You two see the sights. Well, speaking of people you haven't paid, we broke you out of torture prison. And if you want to finish the job, you could get my gear back. I thought I did? You used it to reverse us? That's just my res bag. They also took my Ghost Skull Gary and my Tibia of Trauma transference. The skull in your bag, that's not Ghost Skull Gary? Did that skull look like a Gary to you? I firmly believe anyone can be a Gary. Takes all kinds, I guess. But no, that was obviously Nigel. Reactor black site, armory wing. So how do those flasks work? Is it a skink tears base or hex sap? They're just drugs. I throw drugs at people. And that works? Works on people who breathe. What do the drugs do? Loss of balance, drowsiness, and some light hallucinations. If you like pushing people around, it makes that a lot easier. I do. So you've got no other craft right now. Just power over life and death. And I can open a portal to a void dimension. Well, let's dig into that. She shrugs. I don't know. I just point this cool-ass key at a wall and something opens. Push someone into it and they come back an hour later with a 1,000-yard stare and a newfound interest in investment banking. It's like a window you can put in a wall. Oh, now we're talking. All right, let's do this. Okay, well, obviously we know what we're doing here. Finish by the end of the turn 3 and use Death's Door to eliminate one hostile. Sedative cocktail. Well, that's promising. Okay, this is gonna get painful. I wonder if there was a better way for me to handle this. So if we chain bolt... Ooh, I like that. Yeah! Not quite what I meant. There we go. Ah, crap. So the nice thing there is that I can seal the door here. So we're not like fully out of the woods yet because I still need to figure out how to deal with the reactor sniper, but Okay, what's behind this door is not good. Specifics? I don't know. These tags don't give me a clear picture like Zan has, but it feels kind of blammy. Then you should go first. Oh, real nice. Look, you can raise the dead too, just shout and I'll waltz right in there. But if not, you're the only one who can safely die today. I don't like any part of that sentence, especially the part where you're right. I really do like how they sort of teach you how this works. I know where this is going. God, so how do I want to do this? I mean, I suppose I could do a death's door. Oh, really? Well, let's see if this works. So if I chain bolt something. No! When targeted by a neutralizer's beam, you can't use any spells, generally anything except moving and throwing things. They'll target whoever's closest. Okay, so... Right, that's why I couldn't do that, so... Not what I meant. I think we can still wait on Death's Door. Like, there's not going to be... I don't see there being any immediate benefit. But we do need to finish next turn. Okay. Gotta find a way of casting Death's Door. God, this is a tough one. Ugh, I need line of sight! Alright. I can still make this work. And then we should automatically get the laptop. Actually, it won't matter because... Again, not the cleanest, but... Well, it says clean defenestrations here, but... Alright, we're here. They stash my stuff in the next room on the way to the cells. So what are we looking for? Vessels or channels? I don't know what that means. I only know the word arcana from TV. No one taught you how to do this stuff? When you summon the living dead in an operating room, no one shows up with a free ride to wizard school. The cops show up with a free ride to the lab tank, and if you get out of that alive, you go underground. Sorry, I didn't mean to patronize. I'm just impressed you can use vessels untrained. Explain vessel. Here you go, Underwater Monk. The key you use to open portals. It's an if an item lets you do something different from your main craft, or to your main craft, it's a vessel. Another caster carried it long enough that it picked up some of their craft, so your key, a dealer in a skull mask, gave me that for rezzing her partner from a ketamine overdose. Okay, so she probably had a sideline in Eldritch Gateways. And anything that just improves your main craft is a channel. So your wand is a channel, and your broom is a vessel. Oh my god. I mean, it's not brain surgery. No, I completely forgot I brought my broom. Oh my god, this is gonna make things so much easier. Broom breach. Jump through an adjacent window and re-enter the room from any other window as long as the space is clear. Okay, so we gotta finish by the end of turn 1 and use Death's Door to eliminate one hostile. Looks like I need to reach first. That's not gonna work. See, problem here is I think if I do this, yeah, that doesn't do the trick. I mean, technically, I could do the sedative. But then I think the problem there is I don't have a way of knocking out the remaining enemy. Oh, hang on. I sort of do. So I think the problem is if I do Death's Door, I can't do Death's Door on the door. Sacre bleu. Doesn't help. Cool. All right. I wasn't sure if I could move after that. That was fun. Retrieve Ghost Skull Gary, complete. Retrieve the tibia of trauma transference, complete. Remember Jen has a broom, complete. I don't know if I'm doing a very good job of explaining sort of the plans for this, but Okay, so if I want, I can reimagine some of the tools. So, I mean, like, one thing I could do would be refund. No limit on how many times Refreshing Jolt can trigger per turn. Chaining through friendlies, including yourself, refunds the action cost. But I mean, that's gotta do damage, right? I think I'll maybe just go for the extra target. Forced entry. If someone pushable blocks a window, you can still breach there, hitting them for 3 knockback. Alright, and the Necromedic can do Drowsy, throw a flask that leaves someone in a 1-tile radius sedated, lose 1 health per turn, and unsteady, +1... alright, so, sorry, we've already got that, but +1 sedated to all targets. Lightheaded, +1 unsteady to the central target, and stings, all targets also take 1 damage on impact. Death's Door, 1 use per encounter. I mean, the ability to put down a window anywhere is pretty good. And Intercept, if a target is pushed into a tile in front of the portal, it will pull them in. Oh man, that is... Ugh, I kind of want both, but let's do +1 use per encounter. Getting close to Private Eye. If I did Dreams, then we'd cover it. And then we got all the confidence, so let us move on. That was pleasantly short, so... Noak's Bar that night. Banks, if you're ready to talk about it, did you ever learn why they took you? Liv wanted me to kill her. I'm sorry? 3 times since we reached Liboli. She disappeared for a few hours, come back sweating and shaking, and order me to kill and res her. Okay, that's not what I was expecting. She seems sick. Elevated pulse, sweating, dilated pupils, dilated nostrils, tremors, but I'm a surgeon. Diagnosis isn't my field. Okay, that's not what we had. And after you rewound her? Calm, vital, picture of health. And she didn't bitch about the whole thing like some people. Glares at Zan. Was she doing something in that hour that made her that way? Sorry, I gotta adjust my blanket again. There's something that takes you from healthy to that inside of an hour. I'd advise against it. Damn, this is tantalizing. I don't like unanswered questions. Really? I live for them. I know what poisoned you, if that helps. Despite what I just said, yes please. It's a slow-acting poison. The Druid Mafia use it. Thistlekiss. You had needle-thin puncture marks before I rezzed you, and Liv just hired a Druid hitman. Oh shit. Okay, I have to say that's pretty smart. You don't have to say that. It's optional to say that. How do you kill the guy who sees everything coming? Don't let him know he's been hit until it's too late. Whose side are you even on? Yours, of course, but I'm freelance, so if she has a paid position... Well, you'll have to be fast. My contact says Liv's briefing her team tonight before they ship out. If we go in quick and quiet, we might learn their next move before they make it. Thanks, we're square, but if you're up for this, we could certainly use your skills. Oh, I'm coming. After what they did to me? Next time I shoot Liv Kennedy in the head, she's staying on the fucking ground. An uncomfortable silence. Well, this is a reconnaissance mission, so we might need to re-clarify engagement objectives en route, but let's go. Black Site Headquarters, the night of the briefing. Alright, suppression aura's cast, no alarms in this room. If we take this room clean, they won't hear us coming. Want to show us what Ghost Skull Gary can do? Ultimately, that will be Gary's decision, but I'll set him up for success. Oh, cool. We get all 3. So, have the team use 5 different abilities in one turn. Tantalizing. Finish by the end of turn 2 and hit 3 enemies with a single spectral skull. Damn. Okay, so obviously we want to see what the Spectral Skull does. Fires a Spectral Skull named Gary who damages enemies as he passes through them and bounces off of walls once. I have to hit 3. Oh, hell yes. Okay, that's probably not the most useful because of the... It doesn't have a knockback. I'll still take advantage of it, obviously, but I just want to think about the sorts of people that I want to damage. And honestly, I think... I thought I had like a magic pixel where I'd catch. The angle feels weird on this now. I genuinely thought there was a chance for me to catch both these guys and the big guy. Obviously not, though, so... I still need to hit 3 guys. Okay, so before I do any of this... Sacre bleu. Alright. If I can, I want to set up for a... a predictive bolt. I have ideas. Wanting. Not quite what I wanted, but looks like I only get a broom break. That's right, because I already used it once. Okay. We should be able to finish this by the end of turn 2. So I think we can actually just throw the cocktail. There we go. What's next? Officers. They're the only people here who won't shoot us on sight, but it's only because it's policy to sound the alarm first. Tonight, that's worse. Any alarm goes straight to Liv, they evac early, and we lose their trail. If you think that's worse, you haven't seen the inside of a gunshot wound. Okay, sure, for us personally, life will go on. But we're trying to stop a war here. Get into the headspace, please. Right. Okay, knock out all 3 enemies, deal with all enemies by the end of turn 1, and hit 3 enemies with a single spectral skull. I'm going to imagine that Banks is better placed in this spot, so... Okay, I mean, I say that, but I clearly need to... We can't let this guy reach the alarm panel he's heading to. His path shows how far he'll go to in the foresee phase. Okay. So it doesn't actually matter where I put Banks because I need to... Okay, I have ideas. Yeah, I need to do this all in one turn, which will be challenging but not impossible. So I'll set Zan up here, the predictive bolt. So the logic behind that is I can grab the intel here, so then I can do the chain shot. Oh, brilliant. I don't even need to worry. This might be dodgy. We'll see. Yeah, we don't even need to worry about the rest of that. Alright, we're here. If we can clear this room with no alarms, I can foresight into the briefing room and catch everything. Is it an easy one? I wouldn't want to go on the record saying that, no. Might be time for some trauma transference. I'm almost afraid to ask, but I'm not. What is it? Let's me move trauma around. If I cast it on you, then I choose who takes the damage next time you get hit. I feel like there was something in that Hippocratic oath about that. I shot you in the head to save your life yesterday. Hippocrates needs to get on my level. Okay, choose a protectee, then a victim. The next time the protectee is attacked, the victim takes the hit instead. So it would seem to me that I just transfer this to the baddies, right? And we gotta finish by the end of turn 2. Now, I definitely see some possibilities. So let's start by getting Jen to do her thing. Never gets old. All right. Holy crap, I actually need to do a lot more. Okay. Yikes! Let's see what we can do. Okay, so yeah, we just need to finish the round. Won't be... Oh, crap, I completely forgot about the... Okay. I won't rule out a win yet, but I need to smarten up. Damn. So I don't get to move again, sadly. No, you have to bar the door. Okay. So I guess the first thing I need to think about is I can do one of these. Now this won't be enough to kill, so we'll do a death's door at this point. Now the drawback that I see here is even if I do a broom... Okay, yeah, I've already done the broom breach, so it doesn't really count for anything. And then we're back to the familiar problem, which is I can't actually seal multiple doors. Well, let's not be too hasty. So, as long as I can take these guys out... Whoops! I think I can still make this. I think I can still make this work. Oh wait, right. There's a specific order in which I did this. Okay, so I need to Gale Banks up. Yeah, that's still worth doing. Or is it? I mean, this seems like a great way for me to take out Banks again. Oh, okay, maybe not. It's a weird way of handling that problem, but did the trick. So I mean, I think this still takes out Banks. You know what? I'm actually willing to just sacrifice Banks. I don't think I lose any points for doing that, so... Oh, you're kidding me. No! That's so annoying. I could have... I went too far back on the, Alright, God, how do I even do this? Oh, hang on. No, this is definitely not the way I want to do this. Okay, so... Cocktail on this fellow. Now the funny thing here, I'm wondering if I seal the door at this point. I can do the transference over here. Huh. Yeah, that doesn't help. So, I mean, my alternative would be to, yeah, no, this doesn't work. Although I think it's fair to say... Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. We'll do a death's door. Never mind. So this lets me move to the control panel. So the reason I want that to happen is I get to take out the officer here. Now, I do still want the transference. The question is, do I want to do it to the heavy gunner? You know, heavy gunner's in a tight spot, and I feel like I have easier ways of handling... Oh yeah, actually it's trivial to deal with Ah, damn it. Okay. It should be trivial. Okay, this'll do. My only regret is that I'm still gonna have to deal with these reinforcement doors, and I'm a little worried about where that may go. Oh Christ, I forgot. There's 3 doors that I haven't... Okay. But I gotta do the static blast, so, well... Nah, see, I think the problem with this is I've still sort of signed myself up to... Like, the question is which character is going to go and knock these down. So, yeah, the frustrating thing about this is that I obviously had it the last time, and because I bungled the last door there, okay, I have thoughts. Still want to take advantage of the broom breach, but... Okay, so I'm going to do a couple things here. I'm going to transfer to this unit. We're close, but... yeah, that's not going to do the trick. I really wanted a predictive bolt to take this officer out. Useless. All right, I like what I'm seeing here. So I get to static blast this, which lets me move to seal. And at this point, this is academic, but... nope, not quite that. Not quite what I had intended, but whatever. Alright, more effort than I probably should have put in, but you know what? We got it. Alright, we're wheels up for Kalan at 0200. I need everyone on the same page, the same sentence before we touch down. Put a foot wrong in the Boli, you piss me off. Put a foot wrong in Kalan, and you'll never see daylight again. So let's hear it. Rayon? Stay canine. Head to the vaults, sniff around for mana stockpiles. Good. Bori? Straight to the safe house, lay low, don't set fire to anything important till I get the mana call. Don't set fire to anything till you get the call. Sure, of course. No major fires. Steve? I have a question about my role. Oh, God. More of a comment, actually. I just think I have more to offer than my badge. I know you said it'll help our cover, but I could be part of the vault team. I'm not your HR manager, Steve. I don't need you to feel valued. I use people who don't need nannying. If that's not you... Oh! I am sorry to say, but the game just crashed. Alright, that this is such a this is such a lame way to end, but given that I only had like 2 minutes left in the stream, um, I think I'll probably just call it there. Hopefully, we'll get to do some of the the story stuff at the start of the next stream. But yeah, I was gonna wrap it up after that scene anyway. So sorry to make it such a an abrupt ending. But that is it for me. Just to set a couple expectations in terms of the stream, both what we'll be doing in the next little while, but also anticipated breaks. I did forget that it's Victoria Day next week. So Monday I will probably be taking off. And then the weird way that the holidays tend to work is they're usually on the third week, which also means that's the local game dev meetup. So next week, Monday and Wednesday, I'm likely going to be not streaming. But for the rest of this week, I do intend to do more Tactical Breach Wizards. If I change it up, I'm probably more likely to do Uncle Chop's Rocket Shop more than anything. But yes, I am really enjoying Tactical Breach Wizards. I'm very glad that I finally got around to it. Obviously, I feel like I should have done it earlier, but I can't undo time. I'm not the necromantic. So I am eager to come back to this, even if it means that I have to do more of the missions. Before I wrap up, let's see who's online. Looks like we've got Kilgore Trout on playing Terminator. So I will leave you in his capable hands. I think a lot of you are already familiar with Kilgore Trout, but he is basically a classic game streamer, tends to play games on original hardware. He like I said, he's playing it's the Terminator 2029. So it looks like this is from 1992. He is a member of the GOG stream team. He is also quite a movie fan. So one of the things, I think he still does this. I haven't actually seen it in a while. But he does tend to do things like box and movie hype. So he has a bunch of collection. He has like a collection of original game boxes. Sometimes the game that he's playing, sometimes just other ones. And then likewise, he will bring out a few of the movies that he likes. And usually it'll be sort of tied to something that's happened in the news. So if there's sort of the passing of a famous actor, he'll bring out a few of the notable movies of that actor. But anyways, I'll let Kilgore do his own explaining. Thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see you on Wednesday, hopefully for more Tactical Breach Wizards.